Revolutions are not won through wars, but through intentional and repeated engagements. Sometimes they start with a protest. Then someone throws a brick. Someone sets a fire. Structures are damaged and then dismantled. It takes not one act of sustained violence, but rather one battle after another. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and I'm leaving the theater.
Colin, you good? Yeah. And roll sound. Roll, please.
All right, this is Ronald, and I am leaving the theater after seeing One Battle After Another. One Battle After Another. Written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, and Chase Infiniti. And for a complete cast listing, you can go to the link in our show notes. I am not here alone. I am here with
Jonquilyn Hill.
Why do you have your seatbelt on?
You know, every time I get in cars, I do it automatically. I blame my parents.
Okay, well, I need you to lean forward and turn towards me.
Okay.
So it's easier to handle the way.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, this film is about a revolutionary, like an Antifa organization known as the French 75. Mm-hmm. It is in some ways led by Teyana Taylor's character and Leonardo DiCaprio's character, and they are basically doing a bunch of revolutionary acts, and most of those acts are illegal. And they run into this captain who is after them, trying to arrest them. And he essentially tracks them down, breaks up the organization, scatters the organization to the wind. Teyana Taylor is captured, and she is basically turned state's witness. And Leonardo DiCaprio and their child is on the run, and they have to switch their identities, and they assume a different life. Then it fast forwards to 16 years later, and that's where the bulk of the movie is. That's what the film is about. We'll try to stay away from spoilers, but we do the best we can here. Jonquilyn Hill, what did you think of this movie?
Yeah. First of all, very impressed with your description of it, because it is a thing of how do you describe this film, because it has a lot going on. What I will say is I had a really fun time at the movies. If you are looking to have a good time at the movies, I had a really great time watching this.
Oh, wow. That was very succinct. I thought you were going to go longer.
Yeah, I mean, there are things to get into, but we can parse all the little things out. For instance, it is not a tight 90.
No, it's not. And this movie is 2 hours and 45/50 minutes. And for the most part, it doesn't feel like it. But, I mean, it does feel like it. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes. You feel 2 hours and 50 minutes. It doesn't matter how good a movie is. It could be Lord of the Rings. At some point, they're just going to be talking to each other. And you're going to be like, come on, man, just take the ring to Mordor. This one, at some point in the movie, I think it does very well the first 2/3 of the movie. I think there are too many shaggy ends and loose pieces towards the end that made it not a perfect film for me. My new metrics, and I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, is one, rewatchability. This definitely has rewatchability.
Oh, yeah.
But the second thing is, does the movie get better as it goes? This one does, to a point.
Yeah, I would say the last bit. It's interesting you talk about the shaggy ends, because I think what they were trying to do was wrap up a lot that did not need to be wrapped up. And I think it would have been better off if they had just, ended at a certain point. I think it was like, okay, and this is what's next. And it's like, we kind of don't need what's next here. We don't, like, the audience is smart enough. They don't need this much hand-holding.
I felt the same way. I also felt like towards the end, there were parts that it felt, it was an unsatisfying ending for me. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to articulate that. But it has something to do with the fact that I wasn't sure who was missing. Like, there were people that were like gone that I didn't understand if their absence was relevant to the film anymore or what. At some point it got shaggy enough that I started to think, is this unwinding now? And because they started explaining things, I thought to myself, why do we care about this person's ending? Like you said, why do we care about this person's ending? And then at some point I thought, I was unsure of the messaging at that point. So I kind of felt, I don't know, I just didn't feel quite satisfied towards the end, which for me knocked it down a little bit in the score.
Okay. All right. No, I can totally see that, because now that I'm thinking about it, there are two actors in this movie who gave very good performances, but I am a little bit like, now that you say that, what did happen to them? I would like to know. I'm worried about one of them. I'm real worried about one of them.
Which one?
Regina.
Oh, yeah. Again.
Hey, girl, where you at?
Yeah, that felt very, I mean, not only that, I felt like there was a lot that Leonardo DiCaprio, if he's not involved in this film, in a lot of ways, it's still the same movie, which I don't know. He does a very remarkable performance in this film. I think this is his best movie I've seen him in a while. Like, I didn't really enjoy him in Killers of the Flower Moon. I didn't really enjoy him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The Revenant was just difficult to watch. I'll never watch that film again. But I watched this, and he was okay in The Wolf of Wall Street. Other people really liked it. I wasn't a huge fan, but I enjoyed him in this. I thought he was fun and funny, and he had a bit of range. But in a lot of ways, he felt like he was just along for the ride, and I wondered if that was intentional.
I think this is some of the most fun I've seen him have in a movie, and I think that's why I enjoyed it. Like, the performances were serious. They played them straight, but I could tell that the actors were having a ball making this movie.
I agree with that. I think there was not one, I mean, even Wood Harris, like, everybody was having a great time in this film. Alana Haim is in this movie, and she's having a good time. Like, she was really clocked in for work. All of the actors clocked in for work. It's a well-written movie. I like the way that it looks. I like the way that it looks on the IMAX screen. I thought that was great. Even the credits, they did it old style. It didn't scroll. They were just like, they were those credits that just switch frames from one to the other, which I thought was excellent. So there's a lot of parts of this that I thought were really good, but I'd like to leave a movie feeling satisfied. Even if I don't see the top fall in Inception, I felt satisfied at the ending, because no matter what reality he was in, he was with his kids.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the IMAX thing. There was this shot of the desert, and it was this very long shot, and there are these two characters on screen. It's very wide. You see the sky, you see the mountains, and when that happened, I just took a minute. Like, yes, we're looking at these subjects in the middle, but I took a minute to look at the entire screen and the vastness of it, and that was the moment that I was like, oh yeah, this should have been IMAX. Because we talked a little bit about how some movies should not be IMAX, but they are. I do think it made use of IMAX.
Yeah, I think they want people to use more IMAX screens like theaters do, because they get more money for those. Those tickets are more expensive. But this one feels like it justifies its IMAX existence in a way that I thought was effective. I mean, overall, and I thought Teyana Taylor was fine. Like, I thought it didn't feel like she was acting.
She didn't play the role I thought she was going to play.
What did you think she was going to play?
I thought it was going to be like, oh, this loving mother, and then something happens, and she...
she's a bad person in this movie.
Yeah, like, she's kind of awful, and it's kind of nice seeing women be awful, which, like, I think also gets me to a thing. I'm very glad that I saw this when I did, and I think if you go see this movie, you should see it early, because there's going to be lots of conversations had about it, and they're going to get kind of exhausting and worn out over time just because of the nature of the movie. Like all the things that it touches on, like it gets into racism, it gets into immigration. I think it even does this really like kind of funny tongue-in-cheek critique of like left on left critique, where there's this moment where it's like, are you really picking at me right now? There's stuff we gotta work on. Why are you doing this litmus test? And I think it was really smart and funny, but I think the way conversation happens on the internet, a lot of that is going to get lost, and it's not going to be as fun to watch if you don't watch it when it's out early.
I agree. I think so. This episode comes out on a Monday. If you're listening to this on Monday and you haven't seen the movie yet, turn off everything. Don't go to the websites. Just listen to this podcast and go watch the movie. Like, just go watch the movie. I think if you go watch the movie, you'll be able to have like an informed opinion about it without necessarily falling into the traps of the 1,000 think pieces that are about to come out about this. I don't even know what's going to happen on Threads. I know they're going to talk about it on Threads. I don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, with all of that being said, what do you rate this movie out of 5 stars?
I'm going to give this movie a rating I've never given before. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it all 5.
Nice.
I really, like, it was by no means perfect, but I really had a good time. Like, I was like, oh, it's going to be overhyped. Like, what's this going to be? And then there's, like, all these other, things that it touches on, but I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I'm probably going to tell all of my friends, all the homies, to go see this.
This was a 5-star movie the first 2/3. And then a lot of things started happening that made me say this is not a 5-star movie. I feel, and then when it ended, I felt very unsatisfied, which is the only requirement for me to give it 5 stars. Like, that's been my new thing, is why don't movies get 5 stars? If I'm satisfied at the end, they can be imperfect and still be a 5-star movie. This one dropped quite a bit. It dropped down to 4.25.
Ooh, that last third, you were not. And you know what? I understand. When the mic goes off, I'm going to ask the exact point. But I think especially towards the very end, I too was like, why is this happening? Do I need that?
I feel like there's a lot of this movie, a comp for this movie is No Country for Old Men. And No Country for Old Men felt upsetting, but very satisfying at the ending, in a way that it felt consistent from the beginning to end. And I've gotten into an argument with my boy about this film, which is just about the writing of No Country for Old Men, because I thought it was, but again, the ending is so satisfying and so consistent with the rest of the movie that it felt like, yeah, let's go ahead and close this out. So this one I didn't feel quite the same, but it is one of the best movies of 2025, and it is going to be in the Oscar conversations. And honestly, depending on how they market this, I think Leonardo DiCaprio is about to get another Oscar, to be honest. I don't know, and I know Sean Penn is going to get nominated. So I feel like those are the 2 performances that, for me, that stand out the most in this film. Chase Infiniti might get nominated for supporting. Teyana Taylor might get nominated for supporting, but even Regina Hall did fine. She wasn't on screen enough, I don't think. And I think Benicio del Toro did a great job in this film. Like, I wanted more of him. I really wanted more of him. I would watch a spinoff movie with what he was doing, because that was very entertaining.
And that's another thing, like, when this movie comes out, y'all, there's gonna be a new cycle. See it while you can. And that's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's true. Because this one, yeah, actually, don't wait. Yeah. And with that, Leaving the Theater is a production of Oh It's Big Ron Studios. I mixed this episode, and I'm working hard. I'm working very, very hard. This is my second press screening in a row. I had one yesterday, and I watched The Smashing Machine, which won't come out until next week. And then I came back today.
Tell them about the chair.
And the chair.
Yeah, so we sat down in the seat, and Ronald realized that the arm thing was up from the last time he was there. That is the work this man is putting into this podcast.
That's right. I put the arm of the chair up, and Jonquilyn sat down and put it down. I was like, I'm the one who put that up. That's wild. No one has sat here or moved this arm since yesterday. But I'm spending that much time in the theater so that y'all can listen to my opinions on movies, so I can force my opinion on movies to you. And I'm forcing it on you, but like, you're still listening to the podcast, so obviously you're still into it. If you believe in this labor of love that is still labor, go to patreon.com/leaving the theater, or go to the link in our show notes. We have a lot of offerings for you. We have an ad-free feed. We have On the Couch video. We have I Don't Like That, which new episodes dropping soon. I'm working hard out here. If you believe in that, patreon.com/leaving the theater, or go to the link in our show notes. Show art from Heather Wilder. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. For more information about One Battle After Another or Jonquilyn Hill, check out our show notes. You can follow me on Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads, or Letterboxd at @OHitsBigRon. That's at OHITSBIGRON. You can find out more about this show and other Oh It's Big Ron Studios shows by following us on Instagram at Oh It's Big Ron Studios. Leaving the Theater will be back soon. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sitting in the car.
Yeah, air conditioning.
Yeah, it's nice in here.